Number 4. So I had to come out so you could see my sunflowers because we just moved to Florida where there's 15,000 new COVID cases today. And so these are my dumb sunflowers that keep facing the wrong direction. The sun sets the opposite direction of where they are. But my kids say that they're just goofy like Floridians who refuse to wear a mask. So here you go. Look at my unwise sunflowers. They aren't wearing masks either. Okay, so now this is where the boots hit the pavement or the rubber hits the road or something like that. We have talked about your dream board and what you envision about your homeschool. And I know for some people what you envision is to survive, and I got that. I definitely felt like that when I started homeschooling. And I'm saying dream bigger. Like, have you ever seen Inception? And they're in a dream and they're having to fight the bad guys, and a guy just has this little tiny handgun, and someone else comes up and says, hey, you need to dream bigger, and he gives them this Uzi. And you need to dream bigger. If your goal is really just to survive, no, like, come on, you got some imagination in there. So I told you some of my dreams. The Bali Green School, where my kids were in a tree house and learning in the outdoors and experiencing everything with their own hands. And I told you about how I wanted incredible science going on and tons of experiments. I wanted to do history on location. I told you some of these things. One of the things that I left out is that oh, it's a rocket. There's a SpaceX rocket going up right now. That's the coolest thing about living in Florida. But one of the things that I left out is that we really wanted to have a school that inspired our kids to care about what was going on in the world. And years ago, we said as kids ourselves, we weren't really aware with what was going on in the news or what was going on just in the streets. We just weren't really aware. We wanted our kids to be aware and to be aware from diverse media. So when we were first married, we moved to the Middle East, and specifically we lived in the Palestine quarter of Jerusalem. And there would be violence happening in the streets during the Second Intifada, and we would see it firsthand. We would see exactly what happened. But if you signed on to Al Jazeera, there was one story. And if you signed on to Haaretz, there was another story. And if you signed on to CNN, there was another story. And none of them were telling the truth. All of them were telling versions of what happened that the people that watched their news liked the best, right? So I very much wanted to have children that would be part of this conversation, that would be a part of activism, wanting to get truth out and wanting to speak truth to power and standing up for the vulnerable in our society. So part of my dream board would have to be children that care and children that are caring about what's happening in their world. So what I'm asking you to do is to go back to that dream board that we talked about in the first episode. And I want you to think about, out of all of those things, 5 to 15, however many images you came up with and gathered, which one matters the most? Which one matters absolutely the most? And if you had to choose the one that would win out of all. And for me, it would probably be that my kids care, that they care. So whatever that thing is, you are going to come up with some 15 to 20 minute activity that you do every day from henceforth and forever for that thing. So if that thing is that you love science experimentation, then, let's find some, wow, the cicadas came out. Let's find some incredible science experimentation books. You can find them on the website. We've given you the ones that we've used. And do one of those every single day. If you really care about creating articulate writers or articulate speakers, then do it every single day for 20 minutes. Now, for me, what we do is each of our kids have a different newspaper source that they're responsible to bring news to the table as we eat breakfast in the morning. So they know when they get up and brush their teeth that they need to pop into, one of them is Chicago Tribune, one of them is Tampa Bay Chronicle or something, one of them does New York Times. They do different resources. One of them does The Onion because we all need happiness and laughter. And I wanted to teach them about parodies and satire. And then for my younger child, she does Time News for Kids. That's what it is. So we gather at the breakfast table, and while we're eating breakfast, they share a news story that they found. Now, this time, the summer of 2020, there is no shortage of powerfully charged topics that we are passionately talking about as we eat breakfast. There have been plenty of years where it wasn't like that, and it would take a little bit more searching for them to find articles that they cared about. But I'll tell you right now, it has been this incredible success that for years we've been gathering around news sources because they're able to recognize, I think that this news source is presenting a pretty biased version right here, and it's pretty thrilling to see my children. I didn't engage with the idea of biased news sources until I was in college, so it's pretty exciting to see them being able to identify biases, but also just caring and knowing about what's going on. So what we have so far is you do a dream board for what you care about. You identify the location you are going to do homeschool, and you get some kind of item like a rug or a whistle or a flag, something that you can carry with you when you're doing homeschool away from home. You identify that, then you gather together and you come up with a rhythm of the day that's going to mimic your homeschool rhythm. But right now, those are just fun activities that you're doing for all of those hours. Should be around 3 to 4 hours a day. And then you're going to insert into your day 20 minutes every day. Take a day of rest if you like. I encourage it for sure. But one activity that you do every single day, that you love, that you care about, that you feel is your number one thrust for why you care about being a homeschooling parent. And you make sure that happens every day and enable your children with the right materials to do it. Keep it to 20 minutes. It is so easy to be a passionate teacher and to just make it keep going on and on and on, but don't burn out your kids when you're first starting homeschooling. They'll be like, oh, Mom, I know you care about this, but it's been 2 hours. Don't let it get there. This needs to stay fun. This is summer, okay? Tell me what your subject is in the comments.